So yeah, hopefully you guys have been able to be prepared for the action, or maybe lack of action that we've had the past week. You should take a look at Tau. I can take a look in a bit. Tau. Which has the most price data? Yeah. So I think I posted this either in the server or some other server. Tau. Oh, there you go. There's Snowman. How you doing? Neil the man is here. Yeah, so what I was saying was Tau. I mean, looks pretty good. It's the, you could say, leader in the AI sector. And if you're a AI fan, I would definitely recommend getting some exposure. I have quite a bit of Tau, and I bought back here. So I'm definitely interested in this, even though I'm not too big of a fan of the whole AI narrative or sector. Yep, Neil is here. Top spot picks. I like Bitcoin. I like Solana. I like Doge. Well, Solana, Doge, Ondo. I like Tensor. From like a Tensor looks pretty good. But yeah, those are the main ones. So Tensor, Bitcoin, Doge, Solana, and Ondo. Those are my top 5 spot picks. Blockchain LLC. Omni, I think, is a good project, but price keeps going down. Well, if price keeps going down, that's a sign. But yeah, if you start to see this sort of status around here, I think it could be interesting. And yeah. So if you can flip some sort of major level, whether that here or if you keep going down, you can look to buy here, for example. But I wouldn't buy right now because there's nothing about this that's remotely telling us that we're going to slow down this push down anytime soon. That's my view on Omni. This is so strange. You see you seeking to learn support resistance. Well, I'm sure Neil will teach you all about that one. He's a good teacher. Matter of fact, like I think it was like a year ago or something, I had like a 1 hour class with Neil. So that's pretty funny.
Yo, OTW, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear, man.
Hey, bro. First, dude, this happened with my last stream too. Like, I can hear everything from my PC, but like, it'll let me listen to like music, YouTube, any of that. It'll even have like the Discord pings and stuff like that. But it will
Yeah.
not, for whatever reason, have the person talking. That voice will not come through on my PC. It is the freaking weirdest thing. It happened on my last stream too. So I can hear you through my phone, but not through my
Yeah.
PC. So I'll just let you keep going so that way I can hear what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I was just sort of just going through a few coins while we were waiting for you. What do you think about the the market right now? Bullish, bearish? What are you thinking?
I mean, right now I'm thinking that looking at things, and let me pull up my charts on BTC
Yeah, I
right
can
now.
close my screen. You can show. There you go.
Okay. Anyone hear me?
There we
Tested.
go. We can hear you now.
Sounds good. This is really weird today. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, overall, just looking at BTC here. Let me know if you guys can.
You're streaming the Discord right now, Neil.
Okay,
Just so you know.
can you see my screen? Okay, cool. So, all right, just looking at BTC here, guys. Right now, you can just ignore this crap that's on a while ago. Um, we are coming up to top side of range here. My thoughts are, we had this bearish market structure going on, and finally, we put in a higher low, and on this first higher high, at least on the CME chart, it's clear. On this flip, this was the indication to be bullish again. And looking at things now, I personally don't believe in triple tops. So us coming up to top side of range here, I think the likelihood of this breaking this time around is I however, when do I think it's going to happen? Of this resistance up here, I would not be surprised if we, at least at first, get rejected somewhere in this zone. Let me go ahead and delete this squiggle. I wouldn't be
Yo,
surprised if we come up, get rejected here initially, make a higher low somewhere around 69K, and then push to the upside.
Neil, can you hear me?
To me, looking at this chart strictly in terms of support resistance, your most bullish scenario is if Bitcoin stays above around 68.9. This is on the CME chart. Spot's going to probably look a little different. So just FYI, if we have a scenario like this would not surprise me. I'm leaning bullish as long as we're above the 68.9 level. Still, in my opinion, charts are still looking fine if we break below there. Really, anything, in my opinion, above 65K is bullish. If we start breaking below there and come anywhere towards 60, 61, I would not like that. All right. OTW, go for it again.
Yeah, again, Neil stream this Discord. That's okay though. I'm sure you guys were able to decipher what it was semi agree, I suppose. I think will happen is we will most likely, in my opinion, just continue building this range between 70 and 60K. I don't really see us breaking above or below right now. Over here, I was very bearish, but after this, we got some pretty good fundamental news, and the Fed seems a bit more dovish. Everything looks macro point of view. So I will stay in this top days, August, September again, targeting these 80Ks, etc. But until then, I think that we're probably just going to continue building out this range throughout summer and chop people up. And I believe a lot of people will leave crypto for the summer because of this. I recommend against doing that because the people that are going to be prepared when when Q3 hits is the people that stayed throughout this chop. So I definitely recommend still doing research or learning new things, even though you probably won't capture any massive directional plays, in my opinion. So focusing on the smaller caps or just learning new things is what I would do throughout this period. But I wouldn't say I'm bearish at all. I think we're more likely to break above than we are to break below right now. That's my idea. So I hope that made sense to you guys. But I mean, generally, I think that trying to predict what's going to happen like 3-4 months out is pretty meaningless. I think that we're just going to have to see and adapt to what happens. I don't think it's at all reasonable to try to predict what's going to happen several months from now. But we have a general idea that previously throughout summers in pretty much all markets, it's quite flat and quite low vol. So you would have to take trade ideas based off that. So either you could sell overpriced vol throughout summer, or you could simply just do other things. You don't have to trade all the time, you know. So yeah. Um, but I don't think it's um, so for example, we're more right now. It's pretty, say if you're very bullish, that could be something you'd want to do. But I generally don't like longing at the top of the range, and that would be that. So I probably won't take that. But if you want to, you could do something like this where you long here and do set up something like that. If you like what Bitcoin is doing, if you're bullish, you could look into doing something like this. Any comments on that, Neil?
Yeah, so I actually do really like that idea. Looking at the chart, and I like that you're using the VWAP to have that idea, especially with that upslope. Uh, uh, and we could definitely have a choppy summer, like you're saying. Um, I'm not sure about like if we're going to essentially get rejected at top side of range still and chop like within our current range, or maybe we have like a move up to say like $80,000, that being like a top we put in, and then ranging from maybe like there to 69K for the next couple months. I doubt we have, in my opinion, like a larger move up to like 100K soon. That would very much surprise me, like much higher prices, but maybe making like a short-term top again and then ranging from there all the way down to maybe like mid-range of our current range, doing something like that for the next couple months while maybe like Ethereum runs. That would not
Yeah.
surprise me. What do you think about like Ethereum, for example, like with an ETF coming out and stuff? Do you have any kind of like higher time frame thoughts on it?
Yeah, so ETH is interesting for sure. We had the news event that obviously gave us this huge thing. I think that ETFs will probably get approved, but I'm not going to speculate on that because no one really knows. But that's sort of where I think it's going to go for now. And I think that especially in half two, so after June, I think that ETH could be very interesting. I think in after we finish June, so like in this rough area here, I think that ETH and alts could run. So I was actually looking at a trade idea to start accumulating altcoins right about now, in case that happens, right? Because if ETFs are approved, etc., we're gonna get a pretty good run for altcoins. So I think that I'm generally a massive ETH hater. I fucking hate ETH, but for now I'm not gonna ignore the fact that it looks pretty good. And yeah, generally I think that ETH has a pretty rough history. It's been a pretty bad underperformer, but right now the structure looks pretty good, especially after this breakout here. We could see some sort of either stay up here or jump back below, and you can start to accumulate alts down here. And I think after or in H2, I think that we can definitely see alts do well. That's my general on ETH idea on ETH. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm looking at too for Ethereum. I think it is gonna be bullish for the next couple of months. I think it starts outperforming, especially in this. That's like contingent on the ETFs being approved. So, say for example, looking at Ethereum here. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. If you can't, just say something in chat. Looking at ETH here, hopefully some of you guys got into my long opportunity I gave last week, had a nice move up. At this point, I think just looking at the daily chart, I would not be surprised if we have a move up our last TP in this daily resistance. Not gonna lie, I think us coming up to the top side of this resistance would be a nice short opportunity. I would probably take something like this. At least for the first push up, I would be very surprised if we initially just blast on through it. I think, coming up to ETF decisions, I think we do have one today, actually. I'm pretty sure. I would not be surprised if it did get approved today, if this pushes up and has like a wick up to this level and then comes down, builds some value over here the next couple months. That is a terrible squiggle, but you guys get the idea. And then initially you get something like this, maybe a swipe down quickly to the bottom side of range, and then a push up at the end of summer above 4,000, that would not surprise me. So go ahead and switch back to my phone so I can hear you.
But yeah, I pretty much agree. I'm not really that invested in ETH right now, except I have a few option plays, but other than that, I'm not too you could say heavy invested into it. However, I am very much heavily invested in Solana, and I think we could talk about that next. So I'll just move over to Solana. Solana. Yeah, so for me, in my opinion, Solana looks ridiculously good. Everything about this screams continuation. The structure from all points of view, if you want to be a trendline nerd or VWAP nerd or whatever you want to be, everything just looks good across all metrics. So in case ETH underperforms, if ETFs get rejected or whatever, and we dip back to 3K, I think that Solana could be a new venue for ETH believers to move on to. So I think that $300 to $400 is very much realistic for Solana. So I've personally been accumulating a shit ton of Solana in this range here. Solana is my second biggest spot bag. If we ignore Bitcoin, of course. So I think that by the end of the year, I think that at least 350 will be reached, maybe even 400 for Solana. So I'm quite heavily invested into Solana on spot. It looks terrible for swing trading leverage though, because I mean you don't really have much structure up here, not much structure up here. So only thing would be potentially like long down here, but I would mainly be interested, or you guys should mainly be interested in buying spot on this, in case it does go this high, because I think that's very much reasonable. But there are some reasons to why it wouldn't, in case ETF for ETH gets approved, etc. More and more money will be siphoned into ETH from Solana. In that case, Solana might just continue doing like this, and that's obviously going to be a shame. But we'll see what happens. But I think I'm very much bullish on Solana, more than pretty much any other coin. Right now, it just looks too good. What do you think about Solana, Neil? Please don't shit on Solana, please.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, now
Yeah.
it's working. Yeah, so I agree that I hold, for example, I don't agree with I hold Solana, because I do hold Solana. Like I hold a very large amount of it. I'm very bullish on it. Personally, looking at Sol, I agree that it looks quite good on higher time frames. I think that the Sol trade, of course, like you said, it could suffer a little bit with Ethereum ETFs being approved over the long term. However, this is kind of my thesis on Sol, is that, you know, if the ETH ETFs get approved soon, I think, you know, you get a wake up like these action will probably just go sideways and down. And while that happens, I think Sol will do very well. And so even if ETH ETFs get approved, I think Sol can do very well. If you guys, I posted, I think Thursday, like that. Looking at Sol on like a 4-hour time frame, maybe we can even get on lower ones here. You do have a basically like had a range retest yesterday. Range low retest of here and range highs here. I took a long about right here on Sol, and I'm just holding what stops under like 174. 200 potentially with, a short-term stop and profits taken at 187. Right now, I don't really think there is a trade to be had at current market price on Sol. Right now, you're just kind of mid-range, and I would be patient here. In terms of what you could be doing, I think that at this point, the only trade that I really see that I would be taking here on Sol would be if you get a retest of this zone at around 169. If you get that, and you have the potential to take this up to higher prices. And I would just close.
Okay, what can you cast? Any exchange have this coin? Yeah. There we go. Need something with more history. There we go. Yeah, Cas. Isn't this the coin that people mine all the time? Caspa, whatever. I think that this looks okay so far. It's doing the classic meme triangle thing where you just triangle, pump, triangle, pump, here again. And it seems like it's doing the same thing here. So if I'm correct, I think that you could be interested in taking a position on Cas. Actually, I'll go on. I'll go back to here and go to Cas on my. Go back to my regular charting one. Mess up my template. Yeah. So what I was saying was, it's doing the meme triangle, is what I call it. So I think that there is a trade to be taken. I'm just gonna make all these black again. Right around this area here. Yeah. So in this case, you could potentially take a long around here. So you would essentially just take a trade off this retest, you could say. So here looks something like that. That was a terrible struggle. Like that basically would be the idea. It's like that. Stops below here. Potentially even below here if you want to for spot. Like that, maybe. There we go. And then for TPs, like in the 0.2 area would be what I would do. Like this, like so. That's one. Quite aggressive entry. You could also take one further down. The risk you encounter there is in case it just retests here and continues and you miss out on the move. So potentially doing something like this where you enter 33% here and then 66% over here. So you get some exposure here and then load up some more at this heavier support. And then you could target that. You can even go even higher. So if I just get this high here to the third band. 2, 3, 4. Even higher, like up here, 0.22 area could be the idea. But I think that Cas, I know nothing about this coin whatsoever. So, and I don't really care about fundamental analysis either. But this would be what you could do on Cas. Also, in case we just dump through, you could, if we go like this, okay, I'm just gonna hide all these. There we go. So if we just continue down and consolidate here and dump through, if this area here has a whole lot of positive delta, so positive delta, if this consolidation has short off there and just betting on this coin literally dying, this would be a scalp, I would say. Because, I mean, it's obviously structured well, this coin. It's not like, doesn't look like a dump. So something like this could be an idea. So in case we dump down, we see consolidation here with there being majority positive delta here. So I'll make that green. You could potentially take a short off this break and retest. But in my opinion, the the long looks quite a bit better than that. So I'm just gonna group all this. Is that possible? Yeah. So that's the short. Oops. Add that to the group. There we go. So that's the idea for forecast, in my opinion. Either this, which would be this over here. Either that for long or this for short. Those are my ideas for CAS. But again, I know nothing about this coin at all, other than it's used in miners, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, those are the two setups I'm looking at for CAS. Do you have anything to input there, Neil? Or
Yes, so I have something similar in CAS. I'll go ahead and just post it in chat. That way, since you guys have a lot of but at the same time, like, if you do get it, I would be interested in taking a trade there. So other than that, I am going to go ahead and look at Velo for blockchain. So looking at Velo here on the daily, you have some drives of bearish divergence here on the daily. Let's see if you have anything on the weekly. Weekly, I mean, you don't necessarily have bearish divergence, but you are very much oversold. I mean, overbought. And then coming down to daily.
yeah, so people. I'm inclined to short this, but I'm just envisioning this going to like 20 cents, so I'm not going to do that. But from a structure point of view, this is sort of the scam pumps you want to look for. I'm not sure if there's anything fundamentally behind this pump. You guys have to let me know. But yeah, so up here would be the general area you'd short from. if you want to short. We're super overextended on the view up. You can see. So if you can see some sort of bearish liquidity up here, you can pull that up right now. Actually, I'll just change my window and we can take a look. Change window. There we go. So we'll take a look. If this wants to launch, bruh. So, people, if this wants to load, I know it's so slow today. So we're looking at the people. We're looking at the 0.07 area. So we'll check. Why is this website so fucking slow today? People. There we go. So 0.07 is the area we're looking at to potentially short. In my opinion. So we'll wait for this order book here to load up. There we go. This over. This app is so bad. Jesus Christ. Okay, fuck this app. I'm gonna. There we go. So 0.07, we have a heck of a lot of liquidity up here. It's off this mark over there. So I could, and there's a lot of positive limits here. So we could see trap bulls up here. It's here with the order our order book delta. So if we were to go back to TradingView, I think that if you want to be a risk lord, you could do something like this, where you start a teeny tiny short of 0.07 and then stops like the anchored here, like right above the range, maybe like something like that, like so. DC at the top and TP is all the way down at this small one here. For the RR nerds out there, this gives you a pretty good risk reward. And yeah, so this is your main setup, but I would risk like maybe 1% here because people has obviously pumped for a reason. And what people forget, especially in crypto, this is extremely prevalent in crypto. If something has good momentum, if something goes up, it's very much expected to continue going up. Okay, this is very well studied. I'll just post some literature about it here in chat. I posted a paper on it. There you go in chat. It's uploading. Anyway, if something goes up, it's expected to continue going up. So it's trying to capture the bottoms or capture the tops is generally bad practice. Okay, that's why I'm saying risk low amounts. But from a purely technical standpoint, this looks like an okay short. Okay, so you would take here, hope for ECA to get hit, and then and TP there. Oops, I'll just make this a bit more clean. TP there, TP here, and TP somewhere like around here. So this either does what we think it will do, goes down like that, or it just shoots up, which sometimes happens, right? So I would be inclined towards shorting, but and again, just like I said, people's went up for a reason, and just because we have a lot of liquidity at the 0.7 level doesn't mean that will fuel moves in the opposite directions. Liquidity doesn't move price, it's the lack or the liquidity difference or liquidity delta that's that causes price movements, not liquidity in of itself. So just because we have a lot of limit shorts up here doesn't mean price will reject off there. If there's more market buying, we're just going to continue upwards. So from a technical standpoint, this is the short that I would be inclined to take. But just to say it again, risk very low on answer because it's a super risky trade. So yeah, I'll just share that and we'll shoot that back to Neil for the next coin.
All right, guys. So, gonna be looking at WorldCoin. So my thoughts on WorldCoin are kind of like this. It's not my favorite. Looking at this chart, I like that we are above this previous high from the 16th of December. That looks good. And technically, we are making higher lows here, higher highs. And so the only thing I don't like is potential rejection here at the 50 level on the RSI. That does not look great. You have a daily level below us at 4.72 that you could be looking to take a potential long trade off of. But I would not be interested in this coin until we either come down for a retest there. And the way I would be doing this, I would strategize a trade like this. I would just literally have like the tightest stop loss here and simply just close. If we get back below 4.7 on the 12-hour close under that, I'd be out. I wouldn't want to hold on another test of these lows. Then other scenario would be you do get a 12-hour flip of these highs, because then I do think your 12-hour RSI also flips back above 50, which would be bullish. And then if you do flip these highs, then I would anticipate you coming somewhere at least over here at 6.6. And so that's where I would take my first profit. And yeah, you get a flip long above 5.26, close if you close under that. So simple there. You could even, of course, like don't get too aggressive with this. I would just aim for about 9.3. I would not be looking for these ultimate highs, just something like that. All right. We'll let OTW go for near.
All right. Go to near. Near ain't loading, bro. The fuck is happening? Why is near not loading? The fuck? There we go. There we go, finally. Near. This is... I'm just gonna speedrun this analysis here. Let me think. So near is looking decent, I would say. It's giving Bitcoin vibes, I would say, in terms of structure. So here I think that near will look good, as long as we stay above here, of course. But for a potential long setup, I wouldn't be interested unless we get the 6.7 area, 6.8 area down here. So like that. I'm gonna go to a lower time frame. Like that. In that case, you have your quarterly, if I'm not mistaken, if my eyes guess correctly. Yeah. So you have the quarterly view up here, matching up, giving you this reset over there. together with this VOP. So this would be your max TP for sure. And then you would probably take a DCA here, like that, and maybe one even like that. So in this case, you would play off a break and reclaim basically of this, and you would take profit off this VOP reset up there. You could even go higher up here, maybe if Bitcoin does well, which improves your risk reward. But again, I'm not too big of a RR believer, so that's that. But anyway, this would be a potential long setup for near. This wouldn't be like a sniper entry where it goes like this. I think that near, if we break the structure here, I think that we stay here for some time. But the patient people get paid. So yeah.
I will take a look at JTO. So a couple people were asking me about this one the other day on Monday. They, I think we're around, it was like this 4.4 level. They were looking to take a long and a retest of the top side of this range, basically about right here. I didn't really like the trade because I don't like the daily rejection here on JTO, where we had this daily level with this wick, and RSI isn't looking too great either on the daily. So I am going to be patient and just wait for lower levels, something like this on JTO. That's what I would be primarily looking to take the trade off of. You know, this would still keep your daily market structure intact. If you have a quick wick down to these levels, make equal lows, I think this would be potentially a good trade. Under these levels, I would not be interested anymore. Then I think you probably come. Honestly, I would not be surprised if you come all the way down to about 2.9.
All right. So moving on from near, next one, and not. Okay, well, let's see what not is. That's something I have never heard of. Okay. Jesus Christ, what is this? Yeah, man. I can't say much about this, man. Apologize. Is there anything with better prices right here?
Sorry,
Maybe
bro.
VC.
I gave you the new
Sorry?
coin. No, I just said it. Sorry, I gave you the new
Yeah.
coin.
All right. Also, you've used on total 3. Okay, I'm gonna say the most brain-dead opinion ever. These things, total 3, etc. They're unanalyzable. Okay, there's nothing new to learn about the future, in my opinion, of price action by looking at stuff like Bitcoin dominance, total 3, and stuff like that. Because they're just like, for example, looking at GDP graphs, right? You can't predict anything about the GDPs with doing that. Yes, you can see how it's been doing. Crypto as a whole did really well over here. Then it worse over here, but there's nothing about this I can tell you. Okay, we're gonna respect this SR or whatever. I find that support resistance on these metrics here are nonsensical. That's just me. There's differing views on that, so don't take everything I say here with a grain of salt, but that's just my opinion. So I can go on to the next coin. Gala is looking a bit weird. Sure, it's probably looking a bit weird because it is a weird coin. There we go. Weird indeed. Well, price history, I guess. Yeah, so Gala, this is definitely looking a bit weird. But weird doesn't mean bad. I think that we go on the yearly here. There we go. Yeah, so this is basically what you want to see for accumulation, basically, like that. Okay, so in this case, we have a pretty clean trend line. Looks like this. You've broken out, you're sitting around view up. So I think that in this case, if you believe in Gala, I think that it could be an idea to hope for this to reclaim view up. Like that. And then in that, it would wick down. So it's obviously probably just going to continue ranging here. So hopefully get some sort of entry here. So if you're optimistic on Gala, I mean, the structure looks okay here, in my opinion. You could hope for something like this, where you just place one long limit here, no DCAs, nothing like that. Stops down here. And then hope for this to range a bit before hitting your entry and then reclaiming view up and then doing well. So your setup will look something like this. Generally, let me just remove these doodles because they're meaningless. There we go. So you would hope for this to continue ranging, reclaim view up. If I were to like this and see. And this shit load or what? There we go. So you have your point of control here as well. So I think that if we continue to range here, which I think we will, you could get a nice entry off simply just going like this, and then eventually it reclaiming view up and then touching these highs up here. I think is realistic for Gala. So something like this for Gala is okay. And it's you could say rounding out here. So, but this is all pretty much contingent on Bitcoin doing okay. If Bitcoin just shits itself, so will Gala. Because what the fuck is Gala, right? It's just gonna follow Bitcoin. So I think that if Bitcoin at least just continues ranging, I think we can do something like this. So I'll give a dot to Neil next.
All right, take a look at dot. So just looking at, well, guys, I know someone asked for it. I'm in Tau spot from 362, getting close to first TP. Tau leverage. I did take this trade the other day after had an initial bullish break of structure here on the daily, came down for a higher low. I just took the trade off of that. Right now, I think it would be difficult to try to take a trade off of Tau. I mean, personally, I have my first spot TP here right under this daily level where I think we could get at least short-term rejection. So I would be honestly, like, I probably wouldn't really touch this. There's other cleaner coins to take shorts off of, so I wouldn't do anything here right at this point. And then looking at dot, I actually am interested in this coin here. Honestly, if you wanted to take the long off a dot, it would be something like this. And you could be looking for higher prices here. DCA, as long as you are above the support zone, I actually think you're in good shape here in dot. Even if you come down to these levels down here again, it still would look like, for example, if this ended up happening, come in for another potential higher low, that would look okay. Actually, nah. If this happened, I would be anticipating something like that. So Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking. Then is stay above this level, stay above this DCA zone, take the trade. If you lose that zone, get out. But so far, this one looks like it has room to go. I bet the daily RSI, yeah, this looks, the daily has a lot more room to go. So yeah, this could be a nice trade on dot. Invalidations for me are pretty clear too on this one.
All right.
I mean, so when it comes to like a spot trade on dot, you can always, of course, use like do spot on any of these, but it's just like 5% stop for here, 30% target. So it's kind of up to you. If you want to hold dot spot, looking on the weekly, just check out this chart. Overall, you do have weekly higher highs. If maybe you're putting in a higher low here, then to me, I don't even touch it after, at least for a little while. Sweet. All right.
All right.
No.
Well, I think that's it. So thanks everyone for the coin requests and stuff like that. Thanks Neil for
And hopefully we get some nice printing action this week. All right. Peace. See you guys.
all right, guys. Bye bye.